God of War Ragnarok is an incredibly cinematic experience, driven by a complex interpersonal narrative and brutal combat. The soundtrack needs to support all of these elements, so today I'll talk about how the music system is handled in the most common types of combat encounters. You fight many different types of enemies in many different locations throughout the story, so to give variety to these encounters, God of War uses a technique where they will take a collection of 30 to 90 second music clips and randomly play them one after another to give the illusion of one continuous music track moving from section to section. Combat sections also have randomly selected intros and outros that are beat synced and written to sound natural when triggered at any time. This approach is fairly common for adding a lot of variety to music, but it has trade-offs. It's most effective if the music has a decent amount of repetition and uses shorter melodic phrases in order for sudden transitions to always sound musical. The narrative of God of War Ragnarok is very important to the overall experience, so the game uses a couple of tricks to help incorporate longer and more memorable melodies into the combat music. While exploring an area, you might hear melodic phrases played intermittently. In a low-level combat encounter, the combat music is written to work underneath these phrases and can start and stop on its own. This allows these moments to feel integrated with the exploration, instead of taking the attention away from it. Sometimes combat should feel like the focus of a scene, and in these moments, the combat music consists of a driving rhythmic component, but there is sometimes a longer melodic line on top. The driving rhythmic component will transition to outros on the beat at the end of combat, but if this transition happens in the middle of the melody will continue to play out until the end of its phrase. These melodies also use softer instrumentation so that they will sound great over the driving rhythms or on their own. Like having the whole game being in one camera shot, these adaptive music techniques allow the soundtrack to feel like one continuous musical score that helps to reflect and support the narrative. And for music and sound for your game, check out lipkinaudio.com.